Hey everyone, it's Chrissy here, the creative Eclectic. Happy Tuesday night. Well, I'm having the best day ever. So I hope that your day is as good as mine. Let's see if we go live now. Well, looks like we're live. All right. Okay. So if you're watching, make sure you say hello and tell me where you're watching from. Hey, Marnie. Hope you had a good first day or so back at school. I just need to share this. Let's see if I can do that. Oh dear. Yeah. Hey Gail, how are you? All right, let me just see. I'm just trying to share this video. I don't know why it doesn't automatically copy for me. Anyway, that's okay. Oops, don't want to do that. Just bear with me for 1 second. Chat amongst yourselves. Hopefully this is going to work. There we go. Okay, let's see. I think we're right. I think we've got this working now. Ah, goodness. So I've had just the best day because my mum came home from hospital today, so I am really happy about that. So yeah, let me see where the chat is. Oh, we've got Glenda watching as well. Hi Glenda, hi Gail. Oh, going well. Oh, that is awesome news about my mum. Thank you. I am so excited she's home. She was still having scans and everything yesterday, so I was a bit concerned that she might not be. But anyway, so today I wanted to, first of all, share with you 3 projects that we made at my class on Saturday. So this is the first one. Oh, you saw Susie today. Oh, yeah. I saw her Sunday. She came to the hospital when I was there looking for my mum. Yeah, so this is the one of the last class card that we did at my class on Saturday, just gone. And we also did this one. And so these archers, I believe, are retiring, but I could be wrong. I'm just trying to make sure I get it all in the screen in the right spot. And then I showed you this one last week, and we made this as well. All right, so I had some things left over from that class. Because I always cut more than I need. So I thought we would make another different card using the beautiful Rolling Waves bundle. So that's the stamp set. And this is the dies. And I thought, let's just use up these bits. All right, so the dies, there's shells, there's these waves all layer, all right? And then these layer as well. So I'm not sure where I've put this little stamp. I need to follow my own rule and ink them up in black so that they're stained and I can see them. All right, so anyway, so we're going to play with those. So let's have a look at all the little bits that we have left from the class. I still have a couple of kits left as well. So we've got umbrellas, we've got some leaves, some pretty gold shells, more parts of an umbrella. I just sort of chucked them all in the one bag, so, oops. And then we've got some little arches as well, different sizes. A random blue bit, I've got 3 leaves, a random bit that I've also got a couple more arches, some more bits of waves. Well, they're right over the wrong side. How about we put them in there? All right. And hi, Christine. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope everyone's really well. Okay, and then we've got in this little bag here, we've got some pink, and we've got some, oh look, we've got so much stuff. We're going to do a fancy card, but not a fancy fold. Does that make sense? So, I'll just tip all those bits over there. We've got so much stuff to play with. And I've even got more, but we won't use that. We'll just start with those bits and go from there. So we're just going to pop them all up in that corner so I don't lose them. So I'm going to start with my smallest piece of card, smallest arch, which is cut from the Everyday Arches stamp set. And I want to do some inking on that, or some stamping actually. I'll do some stamping. And we're going to start with our Coastal Cabana. Right. I'm just going to move that one out of there. All right. Move those as well. We don't want them in the way. So this is going to have lots of sponging. I've already done all my die cutting. So, yeah, we'll start with this. So I've got the biggest stamp from my Rolling Waves stamp set, and I've put it on my, I was going to call it my Stamper Artist, but my stamping platform. And wouldn't you know it, I've already lost my first magnet. So gee, I hope they bring out replacement magnets because I've already lost the first one. And I am going to just stamp that. I'll just move this along a bit. I think I'm just going to stamp that round about there on my arch. Could move my arch down a little bit. I haven't even taken it off the block from Saturday, all right? So we've just been busy and yeah. And my bookshelf for my craft room has had its 2 coats of paint on it now. So it's a very pretty shade of feather boa. Very, very lovely. I'm just going to stamp that there. There's no rhyme or reason why I'm stamping it there. I just want to. Okay. Okay. All right. So I probably should have put a bit more ink on that, but I'm okay with that if I want to. I have moved it a little bit, but I can just re-ink it my platform. My ink pad is very dry because it did lots of sponging and stuff. I'll just ink it up again. There we go, that's a bit better. So it's a nice colour. So that was Coastal Cabana. Now, then I'm going to grab my this other stamp, which is sort of like a wave stamp or a shore stamp, and I'm going to stamp that on there as well. And had I thought about it, I probably would have bought my heat tool and embossing. Well, actually, if I knew where to find it, I would have bought my heat tool and embossing powder upstairs. But I don't quite know where it is. So, now we're just going to stamp this in Summer Splash. Now, Summer Splash, sadly, is being retired. So if you love it, you need to get it before it is no longer available. So I've just put a bit of Summer Splash up there, and then I'm popping some down here as well, but I'm going to change the way. I've just rotated my stamp a bit. And I like this stamp because, or this set, because you can be a bit grungy with it. Add a little bit more up here. And I'm not worried that it's going to overlap, all right? I actually want it to overlap. All right. So I've done that little bit of a background. Then while I've got my Summer Splash out, just going to quickly grab my blending brush. Now I've got another arch which is a size bigger. And I'm going to grab my blending brush. And you would think I would have an aqua one up here, but I don't. But that's all right. I'm just going to blend, just colour that very, very lightly around the edge. I don't need to worry about the inside because that's going to be, or the middle, because that's going to be covered. All right. Now let me just see what's happening in our live chat. Yep. So this is just giving us a contrasting colour. Now if you wanted to, you could have cut this in coloured cardstock. I'm not worried about that. I'm just doing what I want. Because I'm using up what I've already cut. Okay, so this is sort of like, might be like a Wing It Wednesday, but on a Tuesday. All right, so I've coloured that. It's a nice colour. Now, we also, I probably shouldn't have put that away. We've got these lovely little wave thingies here. Now we can colour them, or we can leave them plain. I might just leave them, yeah, let's just leave them plain. But I do have one that's a bit bigger that it's going to fit over that. Like it'll, so these are the two pieces. That one will layer on top of that one. Now the trick with when you die cut these, die cut them, put your die cut in the machine so the blade is facing up and take it back and forth. And when you take it to the other side, turn it slightly and then bring it back and then you can just tap it on your desk and all of these little bits fall out. It's amazing. So I'm just going to colour this piece. Actually, we're not even going to use a blending brush. We're going to just do direct to paper because that'll save us a bit of time. And I quite like direct to paper techniques. Now, if you didn't want to get ink on your fingers, just get a post-it note and press it down. Okay. All right. So we've got that as coloured as I want it. And this is a quick way to colour if you don't want to waste time blending. Like, I find a blending brush really therapeutic, but sometimes it's just faster to make sure to do a direct to paper. Okay. Now, we're following that so far, I hope. And then I'll just get my ink pad along the top edge as well and just run it across there, just to make it that little bit darker at the edge. All right, so we've got some waves coloured. Next up, I want I'm going to do 5 leaves. Okay. Now I want to do these in a combination of bubble bath and petunia pop. So what I'm going to do is again do this direct to paper and get my post-it note. I'll just use the other side. Just press it into the ink pads. Now be careful with the ink pads because it's really easy to gouge them. But the new ink pads that are coming out next month with the in colours, you can't, they don't allow you to gouge them like that, okay? So we used to have fabric ink pads before and they were really good. Now this will dry lighter, so I'm not worried too much that it's super dark, and I'm not worried too much about the centre either. Because card making should be fun. I will worry about whether or not I've got it all over. Okay. We've got number 5 is done there. All right. And try not to put them in the same spot every single time because then you will not get any bits and pieces, any ink on there. All right. So then I've got my petunia pop. Now this is retiring as well, so it's really nice to use these colours while we still have them. I'm not sure which was my favourite, whether it was Summer Splash or whether it was Petunia Pop, but I must say I loved both of them. It's very rare that I love all of the in colours. So I'm just going to use my Petunia Pop and put that in the middle. And we can do direct if we want. Let's just see how that goes. Oh, I like that. No, it's not going to be, there's nothing going to be subtle about this card. So it's a combination of the light and the dark, and I'll just blend it a bit. I might leave 2 light, but I'll do 3 dark. How's that sound? Oh, may as well do the whole thing on that one. Got a bit heavy-handed there. So just tapping it into my Petunia Pop ink pad. A few little bits there. Now this bundle that we're using, the Rolling Waves bundle, it would be fabulous as a scrapbook page. So any of you scrapbookers on here who like scrapbook pages, this is your opportunity to use that. It would make a beautiful beach layout. Alright, so I've just put a little bit of teeny touch of Petunia Pop on here. Alright, so we're still with us so far. We've still got a few people watching. Alright, okay. So now we are going to, I just need to check one thing while we are watching here. I'll just make sure that that is let's make sure everything's working the way that it should. And sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, goodness me. My husband is using my computer and it sends links to from my laptop to my iPad. It's really annoying. Okay. All right. So hopefully people will find, the person who just messaged me will find me. Okay. So what's everyone's week been like so far? Mine's been pretty good. All right. So we've got these 2 layers done. And we're going to start adding some colour to this. Now, I want to add some shells. And we want to keep in similar, we want to have tones that go with what we're using. So I've got some crumb cake. And I'm going to do some shells in crumb cake. Just need to stamp them off. Because sometimes shells are sort of a browny colour. I just want to put 3 little shells. So this stamp has got 2 shells on it. I'm just going to ink up one of the smaller shells and add that as well. All right, so I've got 3 little shells there. Okay. And the other thing that's in that set is this. It's like a conch shell. And I think that that would be nice as well in a nice pink. So we're going to use the petunia pop for that. I'm just going to pop this down there. And I didn't ink it properly because I'm holding my ink pad in my hand. Let's see if I'm good enough to line up. Let's see. Pretty close. Not exactly perfect, but it's very, very close. So I just want 3 little conch shells, but I don't want the other 2 to be quite so dark. I'll just stamp them off. I'll just stamp them off, like I ink it up, stamp it off so I can do some second generation stamping. And I might put that one over here. And ink it up, stamp it off. And this one, I want it even lighter. I'm just going to pop that randomly up there. Okay. All right. It might end up getting covered up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Because I'm just making this up as we go along. All right. I do think we need a little bit of crumb cake on the bottom here to make it look a little bit like sand. And probably I should have done that before I stamped, but I'm not real worried about it. And so this is a stretch of water between 2 sandbars, or it might be a rock pool or something. Okay, so that's why I'm just going around the whole outside edge. All right. Let's just see where we're at. Oops, I don't know where I'm at now. Okay. We're just seeing. Okay, so we've done some crumb cake. If I could find my little inky stamp. Now we want some starfish. Now I think the starfish need to be bright. Okay, I think they need to be bright, like a deep colour. So we're going to, I just want 1 starfish. So I'm just going to ink up my largest starfish and just see if that's going to work. There we go. I might, maybe I need more than 1. I might just put the other 2 up the top there. They're just very pale and they're quite okay. Right, and I think it does need 2 more little shells in the crumb cake. But we're going to stamp them off and then pop them on. So they're just going to be nice and pale at the top. Alrighty, so we've got our background done. So now all we need to do is get a sentiment. I think I would like a different sentiment to what I had originally thought. And I'm hoping that somewhere around here is the stamp set. Maybe it's not. It might still be on the dining table. Let's see. Could be in my little box of tricks. I don't know. See, when class finished Saturday, I was I helped a friend out and then I was so tired I didn't do anything else. Nope, we're going to stick with the happy birthday. All right. That's quite okay. Oh no, here it is. Delphi borrowed it. She had a little paw on it. I don't know, it's hard to get good help these days. Good girl, Delphi. All right. What I'm going to do as I'm doing this is I'm just going to put my other stamps on my platform so that I know where they are. So when I clean them later and put them away, they'll all be in the one spot. Okay. So you've got lots of off-camera stuff happening. Sorry about that. So we're going to use the sentiment, I hope your day is perfect. And I've got a scrap of white that I'm going to use that with. And I've just mounted it on my stamping platform plate. And hopefully I've got some Memento ink, hopefully. If not, we'll be using something else. We'll be using our Summer Splash. No, we'll be using a crumb cake. Okay. So as I said, we're winging it. So I just brought up the basket off the table, and so whatever was in that basket is what I had to use. Now, if I was smart, I would actually put this on my stamping platform, right, where I want it to go, wherever that might be, around these ones, and I'll just stamp it down there. So then I will be able to easily make sure that I put this in the right spot and that it'll be straight. Because that's pretty straight there. So let's just ink that up. Where are the little holes? There they are. That looks like it might be straight. I might just move that down a little bit. It's hard to tell with all that gunky stuff on in the background, but I think we're right there. That looks pretty good to me. So I think that's a really nice, it's not completely straight, but I think that it's okay. Let's move my platform out the way. Oops. And I'll grab my little trimmer that I have in one of my drawers and just I'll grab my trimmer and trim it down to the right size. So it's not exactly perfect, but you know what? It's pretty good. So I'm just going to use my little old trimmer It's served me very, very well. Oops, still not straight. Let's just straighten that up a bit more. Yep, that's good. Then I'll just chop off that end. Chop off that side. So what's everyone doing this week? Are you having has anyone got anything great plans? I'm really looking forward to the Anzac Day service on Saturday. It's nice having a couple of days a year when the shops aren't open. It's so good. And there's no pressure to go shopping, and so I'm really but I am looking forward to the service. I don't know where we're going to go see it, whether we'll go to Currumbin or whether we'll go to Greenbank, I don't know, or whether we'll get up early and go into the city. But it's just really nice to, if you haven't been to an Anzac Day dawn service, I really recommend going to one because it is just so beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this bit here is I'm sort of going to mangulate it a little bit. I'm going to trim off these bits, some of these bits here. Now, it'll become clearer why as I assemble my card. Now, I'm doing a card very similar to the pinky card that I showed you, which is this one. I'm doing a card, I'm using this as the foundation of my card, okay? But we're adding in a few extra things. So, I want to add, I'm going to add that to the inside actually. So I want to add this to the front. Now, if I had been clever about it, when we were die cutting on Saturday, I would have put some adhesive sheets behind this. But I wasn't being clever, I wasn't thinking. And so I didn't. So now I'm just going to use my silicone craft mat and my multi-purpose liquid glue. Now, if you have a sponge or something that you can use just for glue, this is the time to use it. So I'm just going to use my flat end and just pop bits of glue on here. I don't need it all over the whole thing, just in strategic spots like where it might lift along the end. Okay, let's move that out of the way. And now the glue just peels off that when it dries. And I want to pop that. So it's just going up here. So this is one of those labour of love cards, but I'm sure it's going to look beautiful once we've finished. Now this one here, I'm going to pop it down there, I think. And again, we're going to grab that silicone craft mat. Now, if you do junk journaling, these little pieces are great to go in your junk journal, so you won't waste them. If you don't do junk journaling, put them in the bin, or use them on your envelope or something. Okay, again, we'll just pierce out, make sure we pierced out all the little spots. You always miss one or two. Okay. But I got most of them just by die cutting it upside down. Alrighty. So this bit's going to go here. I'm going to trim it off the edge. Okay, so it's starting to come together. Don't be. Oh, goodness. All right, so now we want to put together our little umbrella. And we want 3 umbrellas on this. No, actually, we just want 1. I was going to do 3, but I think I just want 1. So I'm using the very centre. So I cut 2 and 1 comes apart in sections. So I'm going to use the very centre of 1. And it's got little lines on it, so you can line it up with the lines on your white umbrella. And if it's in the centre, it'll line up perfectly. Right. Hey Kim, how are you? Lovely to see you. And then I'm going to use, so each umbrella has 4 sizes. So a middle, a next, and so this is the 3rd smallest or the 2nd biggest size that I want to use. And again, just pop a little tab of glue on there. Okay. Kim, is it your first time joining us tonight on YouTube? I think it might be. Kim's the most lovely person. She's was in my team for a very, very long time. And then life got in the way. Now, I want to make this a bit different to the other one. So I'm going to take my biggest piece. I'm going to grab my petunia pop. Because remember, we're doing this on the fly. There's no planning gone in place into this. So I'm just inking it up. So I'd cut it in bubble bath and I'm just putting some petunia pop on it. Just to colour it. So it'll show up a completely different colour once it's dry. And again, now if you've got tweezers, it's really good to use your tweezers at this point. Especially if you've got reverse tweezers. Alright. So, just popping that big one around the outside. Wiping off any excess glue. Oh, I got ink all over my fingernail. You can probably hear my dog. She's panting. Just because she wants attention, not between. Well, that's really good. I'm glad you could join us tonight, Kim. All right. So now we need our card base. Oh, we need this one. And we need that one. And we need our card base. Delphi dog, sit down. she wants to play, and so she's giving me toys and nudging me and thinking that I should play. All right. So this piece of bubble bath, because we've got it cut, we may as well use it. So I've just, this one here, this white, is half of an A4. If you're in the US, use half of a letter sheet. Okay, then we're going to pop this piece of bubble bath on here. Now it is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. So it only gives the teeniest little pop of pink. Behind our piece of white. Now, I haven't quite got that lined up, so I can just gently, because we used glue, we can gently manoeuvre it. I haven't made a card since Saturday, but I have written some tutorials, and I'm really looking forward to our soiree by the sea. We're doing some projects that have resin on them. So the resin is on order, and I've got the moulds, and Steve's cut out, it's a 3D object, so he's cut out 2 different 3D objects out of wood. And so that's really exciting. It's something that we haven't done before. And so if you wanted to do a Christmas one, you could, but if you wanted to do a beach-themed one, you can. So that's exciting. I'm so looking forward to Soiree by the Sea. So it's not long away now. It must be like 12 weeks or something. Maybe a little bit more. I'll have to do a countdown, won't I? Yeah, and I've ordered all sorts of things for that. Not been doing very well with lining up today, am I? I think my eyes might be a little bit tired. Yeah, so that's going to be very exciting, having Soiree by the Sea. Now it's at Cabarita Beach, and all your lunches and are included, and morning and afternoon tea, and there will be an opening night supper and supper on Friday night as well. So there's lots and lots of stuff happening there. All right, so I'm going to pop this one on, and I'm just going to pop it on flat and just leave 1/8 of an inch from the edge there. All right, not too much, just a little bit. Now, you could put this on dimensionals, but I'm very conscious that the rest of the project is going to be layered. So the funny thing about the card we did for class on Saturday, I had it made in my head, but I didn't actually make any samples. So it was sort of like a choose your own adventure card. It was really fun. Well, I thought it was fun. I know some people thought that they wanted to be spoon-fed, but that wasn't going to happen. All right, so you can see it's starting to come together. I haven't stuck that bit down yet. What I do want to do is I want to add a couple more little shells. We're going to do them in bubble bath, just because we can. Let's just damp that off. going to do a couple more on here, just to bring it. Now I'm going to grab my post-it note because I want to just make it a bit more cohesive. That's a big word for a Tuesday night, isn't it? That might have to be my word of the day. And I'm going to do another 2 there. And I'll do another 2 up here. And they're very light, so I don't want them too in your face. I just want them. Now I put the post-it note down where I don't want it to stamp. So it's sort of like masking. Well, it is masking. I'm just covering up the bit that we don't want to stamp. Now while we've got this out, I'm just going to use it to ink the edge of my sentiment. And I'm just dipping my edge in. Now I could have used a different colour, but I'm trying to tie it in with the layer. Okay, let's go. I'm not going to use those bits. Alrighty, so are we liking where it's going so far? I hope you are. Not seeing any comments. Hopefully you haven't all fallen asleep on me. That would be embarrassing. Oh, that would be dreadful. It'd be funny, but it would be dreadful. Chatting away to nobody. Okay. I thought I brought big dimensionals upstairs. I forgot my mini dimensionals. Oh, here they are. So I've got mini dimensionals and I've got big dimensionals. We're going to start popping this together. Now I think that I want this to be on big dimensionals, so we're going to be very, very generous. Oh, you're watching while you're away from home, Jodie. Oh, did I see you on there before? No, I didn't. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying it. I thought you would appreciate that flamingo thing I sent you, Jodie. Jodie loves flamingos probably more than me. I'm a bit fussy about my flamingos, but and I'm sure Jodie is too. I like the really vintage Art Deco ones. And Marnie sent me some beautiful, a photo of some beautiful ones that were an ornament. And actually a girlfriend of mine rang me this morning and said, oh, at Audi tomorrow, they've got a table with a flamingo on it. Do you want me to get it? And I politely declined because I haven't seen it. But if you're going to Audi tomorrow and you like flamingos, there might be something there for you. Apparently it's a little outdoor table. So anyway, we've got, where did I lose that? Anyway, we've got our pieces here, so we're going to start popping this together. And I want to make sure that that is on straight, not crooked like I just had it. Now you can see why I said not to ink the inside of that particular piece. Where did I put it? Oh goodness. Don't you hate that when you ink something up and then you can't find it? Now I want to put these leaves on here as well. And I'm thinking that maybe they need to be they don't need to cover the water. Maybe I could just do 3 rather than... Yeah, maybe I can just do 3 rather than... Now, if you have to, yeah, rather than 5, if I have to re-stamp that little thing again, that's okay. It's okay if it's going to get covered. I'm thinking that... Oh, I'm thinking that we have that one there. And then we have this one here. And we have this one coming down here. And we put our umbrella, if I can find where that disappeared to. Where did I put it? I spend half my life going, where did I put that thing? Anyway, it's all right. We are going to find it. It's got to be here somewhere. I just did it. And this isn't the one that I did. Okay. All right. Oh dear. So this is why I need to have my craft space. I think it's a week away. I think this time next week we might be able to do it. Oh, I think it's all over, Jodie. The one I did, Jodie. I did love the thing that you sent me. Oh, isn't that annoying? Let's just redo that. All right, I don't know where that little piece went to, but we're just going to grab another piece. Hang on, I've got to stand up and see if I can find it. Steve has stuff everywhere, and then I have my craft stuff everywhere, and it's impossible to find anything. But we've got another one of those little ones, so all is not lost. Okay. Oh, here it is. It's stuck to the back of an ink pad. Whew. Knew if I looked hard enough we'd find it. Okay. Does anyone else happen to do this, or is it just me? All right. So we're going to bring back in our little craft mat. And we're going to just put some glue on the very bottom edge, but put a couple of dimensionals at the end, at the pointy end. We're going to make them too high at the pointy end, so 2 dimensionals high. All right, so then, now gee, I hope this works out, because I look like a real idiot if it doesn't. So then, that just gives it a texture of the leaves are fanning outwards. Now, you might think that mini dimensionals are better for this. I'm just going to put a single flat one next to it. And if you want to use mini dimensionals, by all means do so. Let's pop in a bit of multi-purpose glue. Like, I like the multi-purpose glue. I have to be really honest, I'm not a fan of tape runners at the moment. I just for some reason can't manage them, so I stay away from them. So this one here, I'm going to use a mini glue dot at the end. Actually, we're going to use, yeah, just one. Then we're going to use another mini glue dot too high in the middle, also layered, double height in the middle. All right. Let's glue that stem down. All right. Now, I've got this piece of retired thread. I want to use that. I've done it in a bow. I'm just going to, so it was a sort of a double bow, maybe a triple bow. I'm just going to fan it out and grab a glue dot. Now, as I said, I haven't made this before, so it could end up looking really terrible. And we'll pop the glue dot there. So do you have faith in me that it's not going to look up really terrible? I don't know that I have faith in me, but anyway. So I sat down and pre-tied all these bows before class, so everyone, because the thread is quite slippery, and it is a Stampin' Up product, but it retired a while ago, I think. Okay, and I'm just fanning that like that. Doesn't matter, it's not rocket science. You're just going to, it sort of looks a bit like a flower if you fan it out the right way. Okay. And then on top of those, I'm going to put, actually no, yes, I'm going to put my beach umbrella, and it's going to be on dimensionals. All right. So I'll start with a dimensional in the middle. And I want quite a few because I want it to hold my ribbon or my gold twine in place. Take the backs off that. I don't even know where my little bin thing is that I can put all my embossing things in. Oh, it's driving me insane, let me tell you. All right, so I'm just going to pop that like that. And then I'm going to trim this fairly close, sort of underneath, so you don't see the ends. So I've got that there. And if we wanted to, you could just get another glue dot. I think it needs a bit there, so I'm just going to grab another glue dot there. So this has taken a little bit longer than I planned, but it's nice to have a nice involved card every so often. So I want to add that glue dot, add that loop there. And gently lift that up and pull it round. And then I can trim that little end bit off. And it will stay, where I want it to. Okay, so it sort of looks like a flower there, sort of, with the gold. All right, let's chuck that back underneath. Okay, then we have a couple of, we want to put our sentiment on. And I am thinking that my sentiment needs to go around about there. All right. So we're going to grab a little edge of our dimensionals. Just going to use a little edge of my mini dimensionals. Just trim it off. Thanks, Jodie. I like to do things in pinks, and yeah, I think it is pretty colours. And if I put it just there, oh, let's just put it here. Then we can add in our bits that are cut in gold foil. So this is one of those more is more cards. So normally I subscribe to the less is more, but not for this one. And we'll just put that here so that it covers up that corner. And we want a starfish. And sometimes you just go with the whole, oh, well, I've stamped something and now I'm going to cover it up. And that's quite okay to do. Now, I'm not putting any bling on it because it's got gold foil. But what I will do is I'm going to cover that shell there with a gold foil shell. I've got a little bit of glue there. So it's just peeking out underneath the leaf. And I'll just grab I've got two more. Now when you're using the foil, be careful you don't get it on the front of the foil because it makes it go very dull. The glue, that is. Gosh. I need to not start my sentences halfway through. We'll pop that over here. I've been doing that a lot since I had concussion, is starting my sentences halfway through. I need to get out of that habit. And we might pop that one down here. Give that up a bit. All right. So how's it looking? Do we like that? We've got this random little blue one. Let's just stick that on. Let's not waste it. I think it might just look perfect. Just about there. And I've got two smaller ones. A smaller gold starfish. And we'll pop one just peeking out from behind the umbrella. I don't know how it got in the tree, but that's okay. And then the third one, I'll have that peeking out over here. Oh, he needs a bit more glue. I'll say it's a he. It's not really. It's because starfish can change sex, so it could be a she. Who knows? It needs a bit more glue. There we go. So that's the front of our card. We need a little bit of a wing of Stella. So I'm just going to grab my post-it note that I used before, and I'm going to cover up that sentiment like that. I'm going to squeeze my wink of Stella into my lid, just a little bit, and we're just going to splatter it all over our card. Now I think that this would be a really good foundation for a scrapbook page, and I'm getting it more over me than I am over the card. But anyway, so I'll just put that there to mask it, and I'm just going to get my wink of Stella and put some on the umbrella. Now, I'm not going to break out in song like I did on Saturday at class and sing about the umbrella. Not at all. Because you do not want to hear me do that. And put a bit of wink of Stella on the waves. And on that. Okay. So we just need to decorate the inside, and we're going to be really simple with that. Just going to pop a couple of leaves on the inside. So these will be down flat. And you don't want too much glue on them. So I'll pop one there. Oops, I'm off the screen, sorry. My paper keeps sliding all around the desk, and next week will be better. All right, I've got my little shells that are left. I'm going to put that shell there. I've got a conch shell. Oh goodness, the starfish is sticking to my fingers. I want to pop that there as well. And then we'll pop a little starfish, a big starfish up the top there. A little starfish down the bottom here. It doesn't matter that they're layering or overlapping, it just doesn't matter. I'll pop that there. I've got one more little shell starfish that I want to use, and I'm going to pop that about there. All right, so that's the inside of our card. Then we've got the front, and that is our card for tonight. So we used much of the same materials as I did for two of my other cards on Saturday. So let me just show you the cards I made Saturday again. So we had this one. So this is a very similar concept to that one. Oh, what I would like to do with that one, I would have liked to have put, now I think about it, used some petunia pop on the background as well, but we're not going to do that. And then the other two cards that I did was this one. So we use the arches from that one and the die cuts and the little bits from there. I did have this piece that I was going to use, but that's okay. So I really hope that you liked tonight's card. Again, it's just fun, really a fun set to play with. And, oh, Megan, I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah, it's a really fun set to play with, and I really like it. I think that it turned out better than it did in my head. So, and I don't think it needs bling, but I probably will go back and put some bling on it. So, yay. I'm really glad that you like it, and thank you so much for watching. Now, the next thing we have is next week on the first Saturday in May, we have mystery stamping. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. So we do that over on Facebook, and then I do the replay here on YouTube. So that's going to be so much fun. And we have the third Saturday in May is our catalogue launch / play with new stuff event. And we also have coffee, cake and cards at Algester Sports Club on the second Wednesday of the month. And Friday next week we have craft and chat. So there's lots happening in May. And while I'm doing all of that, I'm going to be pouring resin and all sorts of things for Soiree by the Sea. And hopefully next week I'll be able to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Hopefully, it just depends on our, if I get my craft room put back together this weekend, hopefully I can give you a sneak peek of one of the projects that people can choose to do at retreat. So everyone have a really great rest of the week, and stay safe and well. And if you're going to Anzac Day services, thank you for remembering our veterans. I really appreciate it, and they do too. And it's a very beautiful community event if you go, and especially if you watch the sunrise over the water. It's so nice. Anyway, that's it from me. Until next time, happy creating and bye for now.